Hello to you all. This is not a reading. I wanted to share something with you. You know, as a reader here on YouTube, there is something that I consider a thing that we do not do. Okay? Maybe this is a belief, because what I'm about to share with you is all about beliefs, but I'm actually sharing with you some things I wrote that I used to believe a year ago, and sort of comparing that to something I just wrote tonight. This thing that I believe is that as a reader, we don't come on YouTube and give our raw opinion on what other readers are doing. I've seen it playing out. In various ways, and I have had my own subtle way of sharing how I see things as I go. I'm human. But you don't zone in on any particular content creator. I see it as disrespectful. Again, a belief. I'm human. And I also find it to be a tricky space, because you never know when you'll be on that end, and you don't really know how much of yourself you haven't seen, right? Until you get there. And so what I've learned to do is to embrace the idea that I am on a path. We are all on a path. My path is not more important than someone else's path. And when I'm walking, all I can see is as far as I can see, and I cannot see beyond. I'll only see beyond what I can see now when I get to that place, and there'll always be a beyond after that. Okay, so there's a sort of a humility that I apply as I observe what's going on out there. I realized tonight as well that I don't think I'll stop watching what's going on out there. I watch from various sort of levels and dimensions. I watch as a consumer, and I watch as a reader, and I watch as a seer, and I'm a people watcher by nature. I wouldn't be doing this if I was not a people watcher. When I did my, January to March integration video that I've shared here on the channel with members, I believe at this point. Around March I'll release it, but I'm already observing some of these things playing out. The biggest theme was beliefs falling away. And, you know, this is difficult. We underestimate how difficult it is to let go of beliefs. One of the things I had a chuckle about tonight, when I was just contemplating what I'm observing going on out there, being this thing we encounter when our beliefs are very hard, which I see as paradox, okay, when there's this clash in beliefs because you're too hard on a certain place. And the idea of never say never came up. And it came up because one thing I've learned along my journey is you bloody well never say never. Because as soon as you say never, that's when spirit's like, how serious are you? This has happened to me. I probably, I can't count fully, properly, exactly. But maybe it feels like 4 to 5 times through this journey on pyramid energy, I've encountered a paradox. I haven't always shared the detail of it because they tend to be so personal. They challenge you at the core. It's essentially an existential crisis. When you hit a paradox, you can literally not know who you are. It just depends on your relationship with the paradox. When you believe this and you believe that, and then you believe them both so hard, and then they meet you at the center and they're like, you got to choose one. And actually, I've found that the answer is that you don't have to choose one. Both can be true at the same time. And so you start to relax on your belief because it's costing you. And something I wrote a year ago, I wrote this in December 2024. I want to share it with you. Let me just put my phone on silent because I had not actually prepared fully to do this. This is what I wrote because I was really grappling with the idea of love and healing from, the twin flame narrative and just understanding what it actually means to me. And this idea that there is a true love and then you want it so much and then you have to relax on it and then you grow and then it has to grow and then you've got to grow and then it has to grow. And then it's just this constant runner chaser, and then you learn how to sort of relax and then you got to wait, come around until it relaxes. It's a journey. I wrote, "The greatest conundrum I have come across in my lifetime is the one of love relationships after discovering the power of self-love. It is how to keep an open heart that can attract all of its truest needs and desires without excluding it from the possibility of sustaining blows of confusion, doubt, and unrequited love. While agreements with God are the truest and safest, they too are born, kept, and directed in the dark. In our blindness, all we can do is accept our limitations, try our utmost to align our human will to that which we understand God's to be, recall our ability to heal and believe that time will, one day, collapse into divine place, revealing the code to this push and pull, this attraction of opposites, this reaction that counters action. How is it that the deeper we grow in love, the more misunderstood we become? That the more one comes into union with oneself, the more distance is felt with union on earth? The more compassion I have, the more my awareness grows. Perhaps ignorance truly is bliss. Of all these tragedies, the biggest is to witness the human's denial of what the heart asks for most: truth, love, peace, and prosperity. Our deepest desires and deepest fears all residing in one place, and we, to whichever degree, remain lost and rather spend our days on earth as executive directors of impression. It's dark, I know, but I might as well be honest. I put this on my Instagram. I don't know if I said that already, but I just want to share with you what I've learned tonight as I've been contemplating and what I wrote about this. I said, I used to believe that love was a paradox. Paradox is a necessary part of love, because without it, the pursuit of love would stagnate in the face of beliefs. Beliefs are like walls, built for safety and protection, but over time, they create comfort. The type that when you start wanting more for yourself, more love in your life, to reach further for your dream, meets you at a threshold as the block that asks you to challenge how much you need to hold on to that belief when it's costing you so much. And eventually, you start asking yourself whether that belief was ever really true when it's now standing in the way of what you love. Paradox is a necessary part of love, because without it, the pursuit of love would stagnate. And so, paradox is a friend to the devoted. And when it's embraced as such, it allows you the kind of patience and space required to know exactly where to chisel at the stone, to reveal the sculpture of a lifetime, a magnus opus, a creation born of paradox and love. The reason I'm sharing this is sort of to show you the contrast between something I really believed a year ago and what I now believe. And this is about something that's very deep in my heart, right? And I'm bringing this to you because we are brought up in a society where especially let's say as a reader or anyone with an opinion, we get stuck when we find ourselves needing to undo some things that we've said before. You see, this is where self-forgiveness comes up. We really underestimate the power of forgiveness. And we also tend to think that, and this is what scares us into sort of not working with the paradox and not relaxing on our beliefs, is the idea that we could get shot down for going back on something that we used to say, sell, or do, right? After going through this, like a number of times, enough times to know to never say never, okay? The biggest hurdle is one's own self. We think that we'd be asking others for forgiveness. We're not asking others for forgiveness. We wouldn't be. Once you've asked yourself for forgiveness and you've forgiven yourself, and that's really up to you how deep you go and what needs to happen there to make space. But once you've forgiven yourself, you actually are giving whoever you are worried about the biggest gift, because self-forgiveness is one of the hardest things to actually achieve with yourself. And once you learn to forgive yourself, what happens? Other people see you forgiving yourself. They learn how to forgive themselves. They actually give you credit for that. Not to say that's what you were in it for, but they'll give you credit for that. And not just that, it makes you hold on to beliefs less. Again, I'm saying this knowing that I still have beliefs. This is a journey. But it's okay to have beliefs. It's okay to be in between. It's okay to relax on something you believed yesterday. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to change what you believe to allow you to have what you love. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And to also note that anyone who ever blocks you from changing your belief just because you said something to them yesterday that you truly believed, okay, you were at this point in your time and your journey just because you so believed this thing yesterday, what you can then see in that situation is that they are at the place where they don't yet understand that sometimes a person holds hard beliefs when they haven't actually encountered a paradox that challenges their belief, and then they allow themselves to forgive themselves and relax on that belief. They're not there yet. And so you can go there first. You're allowed to go there first. You don't have to hold on to beliefs that block you from your own understanding, your own clarity, your own information, the things you love, and the things that you want to pursue. I hope that helped someone out there, because we are moving through these months. We are letting go of beliefs, and a paradox can make or break your journey towards pursuing your dream. It can, literally. Paradoxes have driven philosophers crazy, mad. Again, let me call myself a paradox-fearing human, because never say never. You can until you learn not to, I suppose. Sending you all so much love.